begin to feel overload, we'll begin to feel what we are saying.
Who really runs the material world?
If you begin to feel overload, consider your Earth.
I'll show you.
Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own everything.
Satan, who is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe.
They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets.
If you don't want to hear it, why should the children have to see it?
They own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear.
You people are the real thing. We are the illusion. Turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody sees it. Nobody sees it. Yeah. These rich cocksuckers don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all.
Dark occultists, they have two terms for people that I've only ever really heard them use. They call the general sleeping public the dead. The dead is what they refer to the public.
But who are they? Who's at the very top pulling the strings?
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Karen, just before we went to air, we were discussing the global corruption, the global syndicate, the bankers. Who are the people pulling the strings?
Well, what we're dealing with actually is humanity and the elite, the secret societies, the Vatican. They're traitors to humanity because the one at the very core that's pulling the strings is a different species. They're not the human race. They're called Homo Capensis. They have been on Earth together with humanity for before this ice age. Mm-hmm. They are critters. People who I am getting emails from saw them the day before. They look just like human beings except they have these big skulls. And that is why in the Vatican, you see these crazy leaders, is what they're called. We have DNA samples of them. I am talking about a large skull. It was just massive, much larger than human being skulls.
This specific species of individuals is occupying the Vatican and functioning through the Jesuit order?
Yes, but they're also working in the banks in Portugal. But they're alive and running around and doing all kinds of mischief.
The Nephilim were on the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same were the mighty men that were of old, the men of renown.
And they're not humans. They do not have the same kind of DNA that we do. And I can tell you what I know about them. They're very mathematical. Their average intelligence is about 150. And they do not have creativity. They're not emotional. You need to read the articles that Ed Spencer has sent me. You need to look at the skulls in the museums. You need to read the DNA studies. And you need also to think about what kind of motive the human beings might have for being traitors to their species. Why would they do this? Why would we have a banking system where all the money ends up going to the Vatican and people run around starving?
Do some investigation into the Paracas skulls. They're the skulls of the descendants of the Nephilim. We found thousands of naturally elongated skulls worldwide. They have different DNA, different parietal plate structures, different teeth, different jaws, larger eye sockets, thicker skulls, no sagittal suture, and a plethora of other structural and genetic differences. They've been covered up by mainstream academia by passing them off as regular human skulls that were merely reshaped via head binding. The deception worked because there actually are a lot of regular human skulls that were artificially reshaped that way too. But the truth is, head binding cannot possibly cause the structural and genetic differences we observe in the naturally elongated skulls. And the humans who used head binding on their infants were doing that to imitate something very real. The descendants of the Nephilim, who used to rule over humanity openly in ancient times. In modern times, they continue to enslave humanity through a web of secret societies, covertly. Most members of those secret societies are deceived about who is really at the top. The word Nephilim literally translates to the fallen ones, or those that cause others to fall. They're here to lead humanity astray, which is why God allows them to deceive the masses about so much. They deceive us about everything they can, such as who we really are, how we really got here, and even where we really live. We don't really live on a spinning globe hurling through space at unimaginable speeds. Outer space doesn't even exist. Earth is provably flat and stationary. There's a firmament above us, just as the Bible teaches. But one reason why they indoctrinate the masses with the globe lie is because then they can enslave us from hidden land, off the grid of what's known by humanity. It's the perfect defense. It's the perfect defense.